So it came to my attention recently that there's two highly competitive weapon lights out there right now. The Streamlight TLR-1, this is kind of the OG, the one that's been around forever, probably the one you see most law enforcement using already. Kind of not brand new, but a newish player to the market is the Inforce APL. It's a it's a lighter, sleeker weapon light that it's been out for a little while, but I don't think it's really been adopted by a lot of law enforcement or that type of market yet. So I want to go over the strengths and weaknesses both in the comparisons. First of all, the Streamlight TLR-1 is 300 lumens. It's got ambidextrous controls. It has both momentary on and constant on. It's got a 2.5 hour runtime because it has two CR123 batteries inside here. One of the things with this is you do have to remove the light from the weapon to change the batteries. This flap opens up. It's a machined aluminum, sealed construction. It is waterproof. Okay. We compare that to the Inforce APL, which I can't find anything on their website what it's made out of, but it feels like some kind of polymer. It's plastic, it's not metal, but maybe polymer. It's got a 1.5 hour runtime. That's because it's only got one battery. It's 200 lumen output, and the one CR123 battery is actually behind the lens here. You unscrew it and replace that battery. So for that reason, it is lighter, but its runtime is 1 hour less, and the lumens are 100 less. So I put both of these both of these lights on Glock 19s so we could compare them apples to apples. Usually the TLR-1 is on the duty Glock 17, as you guys have seen in other videos. So from the top, you can see that the Inforce kind of matches the barrel of the Glock 19. It's also much shorter, sticking out the front, whereas the Streamlight, it's pretty close to matching, but it sticks out a little bit, and it's obviously much longer from the front of the barrel. Okay, now the controls, like I showed you on the Streamlight, the controls are, you push it up for momentary on and you have to hold it, or you can put it to the down position and it'll stay on. The Inforce has these ambidextrous pads also. However, when you reach up, you simply press the button and it comes on. Now for a momentary on, let's turn it back off. For a momentary on, you have to actually hold it down, and then if you take your finger off the trigger or off the pad, then it'll go off. My only thing with this is if you do a momentary on and then you go like that, it can kind of, if you get kind of in a state of panic, you might mess yourself up. But I haven't personally had any issues with it, but it could happen. The TLR-1, I actually like the controls on the Inforce better, but the TLR-1 is much more obvious. I think it's either up or down, and obviously if you slip off or whatever, it goes back to off, and that one takes a very deliberate position to put it on. Now one thing is this one, the Streamlight, is much heavier. It definitely pushes the front of the gun down, and they both do, and the gun will go by itself anyway, but it's much more, you have to you really feel yourself having to hold this one up a lot more compared to the Inforce. There's the LED, there's the LED. So let's talk about price. Streamlight TLR-1 at the time of this video, I picked it up for $114, where the Inforce came in at $134. So $20 more, obviously. For the money, I think the Inforce is worth it if you want something kind of more compact, kind of more. If you're looking for a CCW light, I would absolutely choose the Inforce. It's lighter, it's lower profile, it's slimmer. If you want something for duty, and I don't know if I'm just saying this because it's what I'm used to, but I still would go with the Streamlight. All the holsters are designed for the Streamlight or the X300. Now, these still fit. The Safariland holster that is made for the Streamlight still fits the Inforce. So if you already have a light set up for your Streamlight, you want to go over to the Inforce, it'll still work, okay? It just, you know, it fits fine. There's no caveat to it. I just feel like this has been on the duty guns for so long and so many people have it. You know, some of the benefits to this are obviously it's a harder body, but does that really matter? Because if this is a hard enough polymer, you know, it matches the polymer of your gun, so it's obviously going to be a similar hardness. So when it comes to that, the quality, they're both waterproof, they're both dust resistant, they both have lens, you know, the lens covers ambidextrous controls, they're apples to apples. My only thing is the Inforce, my only kind of negative about it is the Inforce markets itself is black. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but it's actually kind of more of a gray, whereas the TLR-1 is obviously a machined aluminum black. You can see them next to each other. Kind of, hopefully the camera will pick that up. So, let's not make this go on forever. A verdict. I would say, if money's out of the question, it's only $20 difference, but if money's out of the question, I'm going to go with the Inforce. Only because it takes one battery. Yeah, you give up that 100 lumens, but for me that's not the end of the world. 200 lumens on a weapon light is still ample. I'll show you guys both of these in a dark room in a second. The Streamlight I think is just kind of outdated. You know, it's almost like the Glocks. You got a Gen 2 and you got a Gen 4. I know there's a Gen 3, but this one has been around for so long, I would call it more of a Gen 2. Just kind of old, kind of bulky, you know, and I know it takes two batteries, not one, but just, we're talking about slim now. People want slim. And I think this light, if you only want to run one light, or if you want to run your off-duty gun, or excuse me, your duty gun off-duty, you're going to be able to keep this light on and not have to switch back and forth. This Inforce is, in my opinion, perfect for duty and concealed carry if you want a light, whereas I feel like the TLR-1, especially in comparison, the size of it, just, you know, it's not that you couldn't conceal it, but obviously when you have something much more easily concealable, excuse me, why would you get this? Especially when it's only $20 difference. Those are my thoughts. I'm going to take you guys in the other room real quick and show you what they're like in the dark. Alright, as I said, let's start off with the TLR-1. So we think I'm tricking the system. Here's the Momentary and constant on. Should make a difference. Okay. I'm going to pick up the Inforce and show you the same. See, I don't know if it's just the video you can't tell the difference, but to me they look pretty close. They look close enough that I'm not worried about the lumen difference. So guys, as I said, I would go with the Inforce APL. Streamlight does make a high lumen version. It's more money. It's like 600 or 800 lumens, something crazy like that. I mean, I guess if you want to be that guy that has the best gear and the brightest light and the newest this and the fastest gun and all that, sure, go buy a 800 lumen fucking gun light. But for everybody else in the real world, I think this is a much more versatile and ergonomic weapon light, and I would recommend that one out of the two. There's going to be a link to both of these in the description so you guys can check out the current pricing and some more of the technical specifications. As always, thanks for watching. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Here's a little bonus, real quick, if you guys are still watching. This is Safariland 6380, and like I said, it's designed for a TLR-1 or an X300, but as you can see, it does retain the Inforce, like I said. Again, thanks for watching. That's your bonus.